What is up, besties? It is your host Zoe, and I am back with another episode on the I Overshare Podcast today. So blessed and happy to be with you guys today. I hope you guys are doing good. Life is going good, you know. It's been a doozy for me, so I hope it's doing better for you. But we do move into our new apartment tomorrow, so that's exciting. I also have work, so the boys are gonna be doing it all. Which Michi told me he didn't even want me helping him. He was like, well, if it comes out to you and Jaira about moving this table, I'm not picking you. And I said, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm weak? Does that mean I'm weak, guys? Because I just felt like that was a tad rude. A tad bit rude. But I am recording this episode today, so you guys can see that as well. I think I'm gonna upload all of them on YouTube now because that's just fun. But yeah, today's episode is sensitivity is a gift and don't let the world ruin your softness. Because a bitch like me, I'm an extremely sensitive person. I've been extremely sensitive my entire life. Like, there hasn't been one moment in life where I've not been in the corner crying or had my feelings hurt because of some odd reason, But being able to feel in love no matter what is extremely special. And I feel like a lot of people don't grasp that because I feel like so many people spend time shaming others for feeling so heavy just because they lack the ability to do so, A lot of people can't cry. A lot of people can't react, or a lot of people don't have emotions, and like I know one of them, Demetrius is one of them, that he cannot cry, but he's that's something for him to work on. But I've met so many people in my life who simply they don't feel the way a lot of us do, because I know there's a lot of sensitive people out there. They don't feel the way a lot of us do, so they tend to think you're overreacting, you're doing too much, you're feeling too much, what's going on is too much. So I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and she put it in great words for me. She was like, and I was like, yeah, and when people tell me I'm too sensitive or like, I'm doing too much or I'm overreacting, I tend to limit myself. And she said, and that's where you shouldn't. My best friend is very fireball. Like, she's not give a fuck at all. And she was like, yeah, no, I had to stop doing that shit because you're not about to sit here and tell me I'm overreacting when this is my fucking life and these are my feelings and this is what I'm going through. And I'm not about to limit myself for people. If I'm doing too much, okay, simply for you, like, if I'm doing too much for you, goodbye. These are my feelings, and I'm going to react how I want to react. And, like, when she put that into perspective for me, I need to get better at the habit of when somebody's telling me I'm overreacting or making me feel like I'm overreacting or being too sensitive or, feeling too much, that it's not a problem. And it's okay if I am feeling too much or if I am doing a lot. That's okay. It is my life, Anyway, I was always, and I'm still always viewed as too sensitive, but that's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's a beautiful thing once you learn how to set boundaries and not let others use you and use your big heart as like a weapon against you, like an advantage to hurt you over and over again. Because a lot of the times that is what happens, Once people realize that you do feel very heavily and that a lot of things hurt your feelings very quickly, rather than it, like, if you're in a situation with somebody else, this probably wouldn't bother them how it would bother you. They're going to use that to their advantage. And a lot of people might think, oh, I didn't mean to do that, didn't mean to do that. A lot of people know what the fuck they're doing, and I will always stand behind that. I feel like you always know what the fuck you're doing, unless it's like a blindsided, like, rage, sadness, something like that. But a lot of times it's not. So, like, that sneaky shit, it's always like, and I feel like a lot of people tend to use it to people who have a bigger heart because they know it will hurt more, the words will impact more, and that is what you need to be careful of. But I do have many other episodes talking about setting boundaries, how you can enact them boundaries within yourself and stuff like that. So I have those that you can listen to, which are really beneficial because, this is a problem, especially if you are really sensitive, but you need to have boundaries anyway. And a lot of people know you're sensitive, so they know how to hurt you, like I just previously said. So that is like the main thing I say you need to watch out for. But being in touch with your emotions is such a gift. It is never an issue. It's never a problem. And your feelings are valid even if they're not. And I will always say that because you can be 100% wrong, but it's your life at the end of the day, you know? You're going to feel how you're going to feel. If you are really upset and hurt by a situation, you have every single fucking right to be. Every single right. Even if somebody tells you, even if somebody tells you you're doing too much, you're not doing enough, or you're overreacting, it's not that serious. It's that serious to me. It's my life. I'm allowed to have this control, allowed to feel the way I want to. I'm allowed to have things affect me in a certain way, you know? But there's also that fine line where we don't want to be, you know, not self-aware. Self-aware, you need to have a good self-awareness so you know how to determine when sometimes you are doing a little too much, when sometimes you are being a little dramatic and you just need to hear the person out. But also at the same time, if you choose not to, it's also your life. Like, if I want to sit here and cry and be butthurt because you said this one little comment, I'm allowed to do that, you know? And you're allowed to do that as well, no matter who it is, because I think we tend to forget this is our fucking life. These are our feelings, and I'm living with them every day, not you, you know? It can be extremely annoying, but it can also be your superpower at the same time. And the world needs more people who can empathize and love freely. There's so many people who don't know how to love and are still learning how to love, and don't even know how to empathize with people. They just, okay, I'm sorry my dad died, like, you know, or I'm sorry my sister died, I'm sorry my cat died, or I'm sorry your cat died, I'm sorry your brother died, like, or I'm sorry you lost your house, you know, and they just go on with their lives. And that's fine, you know, that's perfectly fine. A lot of people live day to day like that, especially just because, you know, we're rooted in trauma, we're rooted in sadness, like, there's so much stuff where this stems from. But a lot of people truly don't know how to feel and empathize, which is also a growing process. But I think just because you do know how to should not be a bad thing, you know? Sometimes I think a lot of us feel a lot at at the same time. So it can spur off into many different things. Like, it can turn into oversharing, rambling, and stuff like that, just because we're feeling so much in the moment. But you also, coming from the other side of this, if you do have those people in your life who don't know how to empathize, who are still learning how to share their emotions with other people and connect and cry and feel, be patient with them. But it's also a gift that you're in their life because you know how to do that. You can teach them how to do this. You can teach them how to feel and how to love and, you know, and do that. But it's also not for everybody, you know? So I think that is what you also need to watch out for, because that can get very wishy-washy very fast. Trying to tell somebody how to live, just like somebody's telling you you're overly sensitive. Telling somebody they can't feel shit is kind of like, you know, everything's a learning opportunity and a growing journey. And growth is not linear, like I always say. But being sensitive allows you to feel authentically, I believe, because you feel so deep, so intently, and you can decipher the emotions and put your finger on what your mind is thinking, what you're feeling, what you're going through. Being sensitive allows me to feel authentically, allows me to self-reflect all the time, because when I am able to do this, I'm able to think back on what I did, how I felt in the moment, how I should have felt in the moment, if I felt correctly, how the other person reacted and felt, like stuff like that. I think it just allows you to have introspection a lot deeper, which I think is a beautiful thing that the world tends to bash you for, which I think is stupid as hell. But being sensitive proves that I understand others and myself extremely deeply, and I understand the emotional needs of myself and others. And that is beautiful. And, you know, the world tends to do that. But these boundaries help you appreciate your sensitivity more, because once you see these boundaries that you're setting when it comes to your emotions and how you feel, your self-respect grows a lot, because a lot of times you'll realize, even if I came off wrong about this situation, or, you know, I didn't handle it very well, mainly it came from love. Everything I did was out of love, you know? Because I do think people who tend to be more sensitive love harder and love very intensely. No. Because people who I think... I'm sorry. That just really fucked everything I was doing up. But, I think people who are very self-aware and love harder are able to think about a situation no matter what and realize that it came from love. You know, I may have not helped you in a way you wanted, but trust that I did it out of love. Even if it was the wrong way, it was the wrong approach, it was the wrong method, I did it out of love. But how can I change it next time but still keep love there, you know? I feel like when people tell us we're too sensitive, we tend to want to detach. You know, we tend to not want to love. We tend to want to stay quiet. We tend to not want to overreact and not feel. And we just want to shut off those emotions and shut off those feelings, which we should not be doing. If somebody tells us we're too sensitive, I want you to think about it. Why are you too sensitive? Because you loved too hard? Because you thought about the situation too hard? Because it hurt your feelings? You're not. And when people tell me I'm too sensitive, they expect me to go into a shell, which I used to do, which sometimes I still catch myself doing. But it's not like that as much anymore, because it's a blessing to be able to feel. It's a blessing to be able to sit here and be like, yeah, I am too sensitive. What about it? You know, I'm feeling extremely deeply about this because I care. Because once I stop caring, you're going to get real pissed off and you're gonna hate me. Because once I stop caring, I'm done. Like, once I stop caring, I am done. That is the last you'll hear from me. That is the last you'll hear about a situation. That is the last anything. Once that disrespect gets crossed, that is the last thing you'll hear. And I feel like that also happens when people are extremely sensitive. They hit a breaking point with people. They hit a breaking point in relationships. They hit a breaking point within themselves where we're like, if this is constantly too much for you, if me being me is too much for you, guarantee. Anyway, but be careful. People who know how you take things extremely deeply know how to hurt you extremely deeply as well. And they might not say it's like that, but everyone, and I mean everyone, knows what they're doing, like I said before. And when it comes to situations like this, if you know you wouldn't do it to them, stop allowing them to do it to you. I seen a quote on Instagram, like, you know, with those like little auras. It was like, stop being considerate for people who don't consider you. You know, people didn't consider your feelings when they did that action. Why do you keep considering theirs? Why do you keep allowing them to hurt you? Why do you keep allowing these little things to slide and these little things to slip? Stop it. Stop it. Because 8 times out of 10, people know what the fuck they're doing. And they know what they're doing. They try to act like they don't. Because they do. Be raw, be genuine, be sensitive, cry, and be beautiful. Because that will keep you rooted in your truest self always and forever, and I will 100% stand by that, because I just think it's such a gift to be able to feel. And I just keep saying that because it's something I truly believe. A lot of people just don't have it, but for you to have it, I think you can view the world deeper, you can view yourself deeper, you can view connections and relationships and situations deeper, because you have this ability to think 10 times harder, to broaden your mind, to feel the emotions of the earth, feel the emotions of this relationship, you know, feel the rights and wrongs. I just think it's so beautiful to have this, and people need to stop making people who are sensitive and, you know, feel a lot and feel very deeply, stop making them feel like it's a curse. It's not a good thing to feel this deep. You know, it's not a good thing to overreact. It's not a good thing to do this. You should feel no matter what, good or bad, because if you're still feeling, you're still alive. You are still human. You are still living. You're still loving. You're still breathing. And you're learning. And even if you are an extremely sensitive person, if you do end up learning that, hey, I kind of want to keep my emotions kind of, you know, a little bit more to myself. I still want to love and, you know, have that within me, but I do want to kind of keep them closer to the chest. That's also perfectly fine, but that also comes with the gift of being sensitive and feeling, because you're self-aware enough to realize where your emotions need to be, who they're going to, and stuff like that. So I'm excited to watch myself grow up and watch how my emotions transform, because they are a little bit over the place. And I think there's many situations where I do I get very in my head, and I get very sheltered very quick, like I get hurt very quick. And I also have so much love in me constantly over and over again. So I'm really excited to see where that takes me in the future. And you know how it changes. I'm excited to see what direction it's gonna go in. Will I be one of those people who say, oh, I kind of want to keep my emotions more to my chest, I want to kind of keep them more to me, which I'm probably not, because I've literally been like this my entire life. Or will I just want to love more, you know? So I'm excited to see where you guys go in this journey, where I go in this journey. But this was just a quick little episode to remind you guys that feeling is not a bad thing. Being sensitive and being overly sensitive is not a bad thing, and never will be a bad thing. Do not allow people to take that gift away from you, ever. But yeah, that was it for today's episode. Make sure you follow the Did I Overshare Instagram, the Did I Overshare TikTok. Leave a review and a rating down below if you feel so inclined. I do have Google Forms on the Did I Overshare Instagram where you guys can put up episode recommendations if you want. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all and love you always. Bye.